Hey, what's going on, movie lovers? We are back. Shut up, I like this. Another episode, another day. Guess who else is back?
It's been a while, Jeff.
It's felt like a while.
I know, a lot
It's been
longer.
a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm excited to get down here and talk about some film again.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I know.
Holy shit.
What have you been doing without me?
Had Zach and Christian last week
Yeah?
from
From the Comedy Bowl guys. What did you guys talk about?
We talked about Buried.
The Ryan Reynolds film, the one where he's in the coffin.
First time I had seen it.
What do you think?
Oh my god, it was depressing. It was so good though. It was really good.
You know, for a movie about Ryan Reynolds in a coffin, it's surprisingly good. Yeah. I think it has a nice little hook to it.
I was, by the end of it though, for 2 hours I was just depressed, pissed off.
Right.
I didn't know what to do. And I was trying to look up stuff about people who talked about the movie and all that stuff, and there's nothing. And then I could find 2 articles about it, and they're like, the ending explained. I'm like, what? What needs to be explained?
Yeah,
I was remember, like, what are you talking about?
I don't remember needing the ending of that movie explained to me.
Exactly.
That one's really cool. I'm glad you guys talked about that, because one of my personal weird fears is enclosed spaces. So being buried alive is always fucked with me. So that movie and Wes Craven's Serpent and the Rainbow.
Serpent and the Rainbow.
2 in particular, about being buried.
How about that?
About being buried alive in particular, that just really stick with me. And
I was talking about Buried, not on the show, but somebody talked about Wrecked with Adrian Brody and how it's kind of the same concept. Came out the same year. I never heard of it.
I've never heard of that one.
No, I looked it up. It looks pretty fucking good.
With Adrian Brody?
Adrian Brody.
I would watch that.
Yeah, I don't know
him.
why I like Adrian Brody so much.
He's cool.
Yeah, he's way cool.
He's the best part of that terrible Predators film.
Which is weird. You wouldn't think he's an action star, but
I know, he pulls it off good. I'm like, I could see him in more stuff, and then he never...
Yeah, I want to see him shoot more things.
Most people really didn't like that Predators film, so I don't know if he just shied away from it.
I think that's on our list.
I don't really like it, so I wouldn't be the one to... Danny Trejo.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah,
But let's get into little first side to edit.
Denzel Washington action today.
Gotten into it. Yeah, we're doing Man on Fire, which is surprisingly low on the critic score, which is why we're doing it.
Oh, you betcha.
I don't even know why I looked this up, because I'm like, oh, there's no way. And then somehow I just looked it up, and I was like, what the fuck?
Because usually I feel like most films with Denzel Washington in them are ranked, critic scores, or usually tend to be really high, because he's a beloved actor by a lot of people, critics and fans. So when I think of him, I don't usually think of, low-rated movies in general.
No.
Everything he's in is good, I think. I don't know, name a bad movie that Denzel Washington is in. You can't do it. Really can't. Not that he's the leading guy.
No.
I mean, without pulling up his IMDb and going through everything.
Yeah, going through every off the top. Maybe that Out of Time, that wasn't his greatest, but it was still good. I still enjoy it.
I don't remember Out of Time.
Yeah, it was kind of a one and done action thing.
Yeah.
It was fine.
He's got a few like that. Deja Vu. I really liked Deja Vu.
That's about the same time.
I don't remember. Yeah. I don't know what the Rotten Tomatoes is for that one.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But, so we were doing Man on Fire, and I watched it last night. I've seen this a couple of times, and every time, it's a long movie, but when I watch, we'll get into this. We'll get that after we do experiences and scenes, but when I watch it, it just flies by. I watched it last night at 2. So, we've had a lot going on, but...
so you were up all night watching Man on Fire.
Yes.
There was very little men on fire in this film. I was expecting more of that.
Well, he was. He was the man on fire.
Yeah. I wanted more literal men on fire.
First experiences. I saw this when it came out in 2004.
2004, yep.
This is one that, again, like every other movie I wasn't supposed to see. I went to the theater with my dad.
Sure.
Watched it. There was some stuff when I was younger that I was like, I didn't understand. I didn't understand how the lawyer was involved and stuff. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? And then I watched it again when I was older, picked up more, and then every time I watch it, I'm like, holy shit! Like, there's a lot of layers that you like.
It's a pretty dense film.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters.
Yeah.
A lot of side stuff going on, and a lot of stuff happens off screen.
And
they just kind of explain.
Like with Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
His character is kind of like wrapped up, and you almost go, "What just happened?"
Exactly.
And have to rewind a little bit. And, oh, okay, I get it.
But yeah, my first experience was I saw this in theaters, and
that's cool.
I remember being a kid, and I liked it. It was awesome. Denzel Washington killing people. I was like, yeah. But yeah, like watching it again, like there's so much more that I picked up.
Sure. This was only my second time watching the film. I just watched it right before we recorded this podcast today. So this would have been back. This is another video store movie for me, which at some point you guys are going to get tired of hearing about. But so I worked in a video store with my first job out of high school back in 2005. And so that lines up great with when this movie would have either just been coming out or was out for a little bit, and I used to get free movie rentals. And so that was all I did, was just watch movies because you get them for free. And so, of course, Man on Fire, Denzel Washington, fuck yeah, I'll watch that. So that would have been when I first seen it. And I remembered liking it, but not remembering hardly anything about it for when I went back to rewatch it. Because it had been so had been so long since I seen it. And you watch so much shit between here and there that I just like forgot what the movie was really about. But I liked it. It was fun to go back and watch through. Hello, dog.
There he is.
We're being accompanied by your puppy.
He's
today apparently.
He's gonna mess some shit up. Yeah, that's awesome though. I like when I see a movie and then I kind of forget about it, and then I kind of re-experience it. Like, because I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before. Like, you don't get that a lot now.
No, you really don't.
Experience something new. So that's awesome.
I had a friend on Facebook who just said that she was watching the original Ghostbusters film.
Yeah.
Ironic, I'm wearing the shirt. I didn't even plan that. Maybe I did.
That's
but,
funny.
She was like, I'm watching the original Ghostbusters movie and I've never seen it before. I'm like,
what?
That was my first reaction was, what? And then, how cool would that be to watch an absolute classic
for the first
time? Ghostbusters as an adult for the first time? Like, that would be...
That's crazy.
That would be
How
a fun
have you made
experience.
it this long in the world without seeing Ghostbusters?
I don't know.
Holy cow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What was your favorite scene?
Yeah, I call it the ass bomb scene because I don't know what else to call it. The movie really picks up. It's got kind of a slow start, and I think the runtime is a little too much for my personal taste.
Yeah.
I know you're okay with the slow start and whatever, but for me, it really picks up when he starts interrogating and kicking people's ass.
Yeah.
It starts with the dude that he starts with the chopping the fingers off and using the cigarette lighter to cauterize the wound. That was really cool. In particular, the scene where he's got the guy and he's like over the hood of the car with the, what do you call it, the zip ties around his arms so he can't move.
Yeah.
And he's laying out all these pieces like the plastic explosive and the big plastic thing.
Yeah, I forget what they called it.
Yeah, but it's what you would use maybe in prison to hide drugs or whatever, get it through the airport. And like all the timers and everything, and then like he loads the bomb and shoves it up the dude's ass. And what was the quote? You sent me the quote about...
Yeah, you were saying it, and then I'm like, I got all the time in the world.
You don't,
but I do.
So he's got 4 minutes to get the info out of him. And I also really like the line where he was like, I'm a professional. I'm a professional.
Everyone keeps
telling me that. I'm getting fucking I don't know if he's fucking or not, but I'm getting fucking tired of hearing it. That was a good scene.
That's what I like. How he's just hitting them with something like the phone or something. It's like, that's what everyone keeps telling me. That's what
you just like right on the head. Or whatever.
Just tapping them, like annoying the shit out of me.
That was really good. Denzel is a badass. Like, we mostly think of him, I think, in, like, dramatic kind of films, because he's really good at that. Yeah. But he's a total badass, too. Like, you can give him the right script, and he can pull off.
There's a lot where he mixes it, like with this.
Yes, yeah.
It's a dramatic action, training day. It's like that. It's a long, huge story, action-y. He does great. I like Book of Eli, stuff like that.
Book of Eli was interesting.
I like Book of Eli.
Interesting. I'd have to watch it again to form more of a solid opinion on that film.
I love that shit.
Yeah. What was your favorite scene, Jeff?
I'd put butthole bomb, but
yeah,
I would say that the kidnapping shootout, kind of
okay,
when she's first taken and she
Sure.
comes out of piano practice, and I just love how he takes a bullet, kills 4 more of them, takes another bullet, and he's like, he's trying so hard to keep going and stuff. You can see the look on his face, and he's just physically can't. But I just love. And then later he's in the hospital and Christopher Walken comes in and he's like, "You got 4." I'm like, that's awesome that he was just, I don't know, just him being badass and shooting people and not slowing down.
Not a superhero.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't write that down, but I had thought that. I'm like, that's interesting that he gets shot a lot in the movie. Like in the beginning, that shootout, he gets shot. And then later on at the end of the film, spoiler alert, he fucking gets shot again. And we don't see that a lot in movies these days. Like, everyone is a terrible aim.
Right.
Or they just don't ever see people get shot. And it's cool.
Or if they do, they're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, brush it off.
Like The Rock in the new Rampage movie. I don't know if you've seen that one, but he gets shot. And he goes down, and then he comes back, like, a minute later, back on camera. And he's just, like, bleeding, and he's like, I don't think it hit any internal organs. And then for the rest of the film, he's just fine.
Yeah.
Because he's The Rock. Like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Kind of takes you out. I understand. I mean, it's
Rampage.
It's a Rampage.
The Rock.
It's not.
I get it.
Yeah. It's supposed to be video game cartoony and stuff like that. So.
But if you're going to have someone get, like, I don't know, it was cool that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he plowed his way through the rest of that scene with the bullet wounds in him, but then he's in the hospital.
Yeah.
For a chunk of the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't even get healed all the way.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like staggering around afterwards.
I imagine he's just ripping and reopening all
those wounds
again.
Totally.
But yeah, just I don't know. And how he notices it too, like when it first happens, he sees the car come up and like block off the road, and like that catches his attention right away. And then you see the other side, and it blocks off the road, and he's like already thinking about what he's gonna do, and like just the way that he, I don't know, it's amazing.
Did you like how some of the action sequences were shot? It was very chaotic.
Okay.
Very chaotic, very jump cutty.
Yeah. The one thing that I wrote down is it is a little tough on the eyes.
Yeah, I had that too.
Yeah. But I think that's a Tony Scott thing.
Yeah, because I wrote down other movies that he did.
Spy Game.
Domino. I don't remember if you've seen the movie Domino or not.
Keira Knightley.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But it was I remember the action in that movie being very similar and very kind of. It's different than like the Bourne Identity.
Right.
It's not that.
It's not that. It's
more
supposed to. It has this meaning behind it where it's supposed to represent like his mental stability.
Yeah.
And the shots and stuff, and it's not quite blah 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 like Bourne Identity. Yeah. It's just like whoa, like you're drunk watching it, and it's just kind of flutters back and forth.
There were a couple times where it goes like black and white. Yeah, color changes and stuff. It was interesting, and I liked what he was going for, but at times I felt it was a little too much.
Like I thought it played out. I thought it played to the movie very well, and I thought it went with everything. But like you said, at the same time, it's just like I need to look away for a minute.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the only thing that I wrote down is it is a little tough on the eyes.
You know, there are times where I'm like, I just want to see Denzel Washington kick some bad guy's ass.
Yeah.
You don't have to be too stylized with it.
So yeah, that was my favorite scene. I watched this on Fandango, so I could do screenshots and stuff. And because it was 2 a.m.
and I had your DVD.
Right, and
it was still in the package when you gave it to me.
I just took off the wrapper.
Yeah. Nice to know I'm not the only person that does that.
I bought it and I just never.
Yeah.
But on Fandango, it said it was 92 minutes.
It was not 92 minutes.
I remember it being longer, and then I started watching it. I was like, it's been a while. Oh, it's 4, and then I moved the mouse, and at the bottom it says 2.5 hours, but on Fandango, by the title, it says 93 minutes or whatever, 92 minutes. So that threw me for a loop last night. But this is a Tony Scott film, like we just said. He's done. He did Domino.
I wrote down some movies that I recognize from his IMDb. Domino, True Romance, Deja Vu that we just talked about, Enemy of the State, Days of Thunder, the old Tom Cruise classic, Top Gun.
Yep.
Fucking Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2. There was a bunch more that were in there. He's done a lot of films.
Yeah.
Those were a few of the bigger ones that I enjoyed that I wanted to mention.
Yeah. And stuff like Enemy of the State and Spy Game and stuff that he's done like that was shot pretty much the same way. Yeah. And it's like they're good movies and there's a lot going on, but they're just kind of make your head hurt watching them.
That's his style.
Right.
I mean, you gotta respect him for sticking with, like, that's what he thinks is cool.
Yeah. But,
you gotta go for it. Gotta do
especially with Enemy of the State, all the aerial views and then the time lapses and stuff like that. It makes sense to the movie, but it's just like, oh, well, I need to go lay down for a little bit.
I always kind of felt that he wanted to be like the thinking man's action film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, well, that's kind of what this is, I think. It's not like so in depth and deep. It's not Prometheus.
But it's not just like a Michael Bay.
Right.
Blow up the world. Bruce Willis is here to save everything.
Michael Bay, I guess, was on the list to direct this.
I cannot imagine.
And my stomach kind of went, ugh.
How? I don't know how.
I don't know. It would have just been the butt bomb scene over and over and over and over.
That butt bomb scene would be really good for Deadpool 3 if they could just like do a riff on it and make fun of it, because that would be perfect.
That'd be funny.
I can picture Deadpool doing that to someone. That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I saw it in a Denzel movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd shit myself. I want to talk about.
Yeah, if that happens, copyright. You heard that here first. Shut up. I like this.
I want to talk about the cast because outside of Denzel Washington, Radha Mitchell, there's the goofy fucker Mark Anthony, Mickey Rourke,
Mickey Rourke
in and out.
Yeah, not in and enough.
Right.
I want to see more Mickey Rourke.
Like 2004 Mickey Rourke. Like he looks like a normal dude for the most part.
Yeah, got hair.
Yeah, and I like Mickey Rourke's voice a lot. You know, on a lot of the top voices of Hollywood, of course, Morgan Freeman and all these other people. Yeah. But I always think of Mickey Rourke and like Michael Madsen.
That's good.
I like their voices, and yeah, I remember seeing it when I was with my dad. I had no idea who the hell Mickey Rourke was. Yeah. And he said the same thing. He's like, I was really hoping Mickey Rourke would be in it more. And I was like, okay, did you not see Denzel blowing people up? But now I'm like, yeah,
you want more Mickey Rourke. Yeah. Chew up some scenery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Christopher Walken. Pretty subdued performance.
I like it a lot.
Christopher Walken. He's capable, of course, of doing stuff like this. He just usually isn't in films that let him be more.
Yeah, he's always the comic book bad guy.
Yeah, because he does over the top so incredibly well.
Right.
Of course, you cast him to be over the top, but he can do more subdued performations.
Yeah,
I thought he was really believable.
Oh, yeah, right?
Yeah.
I thought Walken was like...
Was he like a detective or...
See, that's the thing we don't really know.
Some kind of...
When, they briefly, like, oh, you have crazy history and stuff, and briefly, if you pause it when Mark Anthony's holding his resume, you can see some stuff, like he was the Marines, top of his class in this.
Christopher Walken?
Counterintelligence. Talk about Denzel.
Oh, okay.
But then they talk about how they, like, work together, kind of, and...
He just assumes.
So you can kind of tie the, you know... maybe they were both in the Marines, or they were with the counterterrorism unit and did all this other shit
together. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then at one point, somebody says that they were just assassins. So it's like you gotta like, at what point in their life, like they started out, and I'm sure they were clean shaven Marines, and then just kept escalating until they were
a good opportunity for a
world assassins.
Yeah. You don't want to see Man on Fire prequel?
No. God, no. Yeah, so I kind of think that, yeah. And real quick, okay, not real quick, let's get into this. I want to talk about the beginning. because I really want to dive into it.
Sure.
About kind of the difference. I think I wrote it down. I think it's at 50 minutes is when the kidnapping is. So you have...
Yeah, I was trying to pay attention because I watch it on my computer, and so I was trying to like mouse over and catch the thing.
Yeah.
It was, right around 50 minutes or really, really close to that hour mark.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's 50 or 60 minutes of just character development and getting to know the people and forming the relationship. And
I was actually getting kind of invested.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, he gets the job, and then it cuts in and out. You see a scene maybe of him dropping her off at school, and then 2 weeks later, and then she's kidnapped.
Yeah.
Why is he gonna throw himself in harm's way and kill himself for this girl?
Sure.
I mean, it's a cool, great thing to do, but I liked seeing that progression. I like seeing the relationship build when he smiles for the first time. Stupid shit like that.
In particular, training her with the swimming.
I love that.
And then he goes to the swim meet, and then I wrote down one of my favorite lines. The nun. He's like, sorry, your parents are out of town, whatever. And she's like, oh, today you were her father.
Yeah. I like that shit. I thought...
At that point, I was like, I could watch the rest of this movie without it turning into an action film. Right? Like,
oh, she wins the big swim meet.
Yeah, and then you find out that... Well, the one husband is a dick, and then but pretend that he's not that big of a dick, right. And then Denzel ends up with the dude's wife, and we live happily ever after.
Oh my god! Go ahead.
Really quick, I did like I said, I did get invested in the characters that way. I thought that it was a little, for my taste, it went a little too long. In that beginning, 2 hours and 30 minutes is a hefty runtime for any film.
Yeah.
I think that maybe if they could have chopped it down to where we were, at the 2 hour mark, 2 hour 15, I think would have been okay with me. I would have ultimately liked to seen it get to the interrogation, the finger chopping scene, a little bit sooner than what it did, because that's when it really kind of that's when the movie really kicks off.
Right.
And that's, you watch the trailers and shit, that's kind of what you're here for, is to see Denzel Washington kick ass. So I would have liked to have seen it get there a little further, but I do respect that it wanted to spend so much time with character development, because if we'll shit all over Michael Bay here for a minute, a lot of big budget action movies don't care about that at all. And so, maybe this one went a little too far with it, but I respect the fact that they even...
Well, like you said...
That they went for that in the first place.
Like you said before that, though, after a certain point, you're like, I could watch the whole movie.
I could watch the rest of this, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's almost like you're getting two movies in one.
Yeah.
Or a first and a sequel.
Sure.
And Dakota Fanning is...
She's good.
A fucking freak.
She's good.
She's way good.
Yeah, I don't know how old she was, but...
She's a year younger than me. So when I saw this, she was a year younger than me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I can't believe that. Because I looked it up, I'm like, she's what? It's 12 right now? I still imagine Dakota Fanning being 12.
She's not. How old's Dakota Fanning?
Well, she's 24 now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And so, I was looking that up, and I'm like, 94? I was born in 93.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I can't imagine being that young and just holding it up with Denzel Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Tippy top.
Mm-hmm.
And she does it. I love her. And everything that she's in is fantastic. And watching this, it almost made me upset that they didn't get in a Firestarter reboot with Dakota Fanning.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing.
It would have been cool.
She would have killed it, I think. But that's past. But I'm glad we talked about the because it can take a while to get going, especially if you're going in to see an action movie.
Exactly. Yep.
But I fell in love with the characters, and I love that dynamic. I love the character dynamic, and I love just that.
Yeah.
Denzel and Dakota.
I had wrote in my notes at the beginning half of the film that Denzel is always an entertaining actor. I can watch him in just about anything, because he really makes
Did you ever see Flight?
Flight. Yeah, I've seen Flight.
That sounded like something that
Don't ask me much about Flight, but I've seen it.
It sounded like something I would never want to see. Oh, a guy crashes a plane, saves everybody, but he was on cocaine.
Yeah.
He makes it fucking interesting. That's a damn good movie.
Yeah.
John Goodman's in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's snorting coke all morning, and he goes to fly a plane, and one of the engines fails or something. It's not his fault, but he still ends up landing it, and he crashes it. I think he lands it upside down in a cornfield. Everybody survives. Nothing. But then when it starts going through court and everything, and they have to do the investigation and all this, they find out, he's high.
Yeah.
But he still fucking saved the plane, and it wasn't his fault that the engine went out, but now they're like, they have to look into it because he was on drugs, and fuck, it's good. He's
like Tom Hanks. You know how Tom Hanks just makes shit work?
Yeah.
And you like him in like every role that he does? That's Denzel Washington. Like they're very much that really high caliber actor that can just pull shit off, that you can watch it. Like, I could watch a movie with him being a swim coach. Exactly. Teaching people how to train, how to swim. Like that scene, those scenes in particular are really fucking good.
It's just off the top of your head, what's your favorite Denzel movie? Or like top two? Like, can you think of something that really sticks out to you at the moment?
What's the football one?
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not love Remember the Titans? I think that one would be my top pick. He's been in so much shit.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. What's one for you?
Definitely, this is up there.
Yeah.
Man on Fire, 1 or 2. Remember the Titans. And then top 3, I'd put like Malcolm X or Flight, or just one of those films where he's just like on point. I mean, he doesn't kill anybody, but it's just a straight dramatic role, and it's just something I'd normally never be interested in. But then, Denzel, he was on drugs. Okay, let's watch it.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I know, I'm just fucking glued to it. But definitely, it's hard between Remember the Titans and this.
Remember the Titans is probably one of the best sports movies.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Ever made, for sure. Like, it's definitely top 10 sports films of all time worthy.
God. And I it's not just, I mean, Denzel kills it, but I mean, you got Will Patton in there. And, Opie from Sons of Anarchy, and just Ryan Gosling. Everybody. That's a great film.
Yeah.
I'd put that. I'll put that 1, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote down Jack Daniels, just because there's a lot of Jack Daniels.
Yeah, I know you're a big.
I'm a big Jack Daniels guy.
I forgot to tell you, we had a suitcase at work that we printed out. We did a vinyl cut of big Jack Daniels logo.
What'd you do with it? Sell it?
Sold it during the show. Yeah, I know. I was gonna call you, and
I would have bought it.
Fucking busy. We'll do another one.
Yeah. I thought Radha Mitchell. I know she's in Silent Hill. She's in.
Was that the mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's in Pitch Black, stuff like that. I thought that she was the mom in Transporter 2. And I was like, she needs to stop having kids because they keep getting kidnapped.
Bad mom.
They look similar, but it's not the same person.
Yeah.
So, Radha Mitchell, Mark Anthony.
I kept thinking that was Toni Collette the whole film.
Okay, I can see that.
You know, I'm like, is that? Yeah. No, it's not. Is it? Let me look it up. No, it's not.
What do you think of Mark Anthony? The dad.
He's a dick. He's a pretty terrible dad.
What do you think of? What do you think of Mark Anthony? What do you like as an actor? Because he's a Latin singer. Why is he acting here? I didn't know he was an actor.
If you played a Mark Anthony song, I would be like, who's that?
There's one that's pretty popular, I think.
I would probably still be like, who's that? So, honestly, I didn't know until I looked at the full credits when I was writing my notes that was, like, Mark Anthony. I thought he was with that said, I thought he was good.
Okay. I thought so, too. There's just something that's like, I think this is, like, his first time. Like, what? It just seemed off. I don't know what it was. I thought he did fine.
Huh.
There's just something that bothered me, and I don't know what it was.
That's weird. See, I didn't pick up on that. Maybe it's because I really didn't know
who it was.
That's just some dude to me.
It might just
Seriously.
I just probably kept imagining like a music video or something. Like, what are you doing here? I don't know. I thought his scenes were kind of weird.
Remember back in the old days when they used to like have an arbitrary song for like every movie, and they would film like a music video that would go with it. What was the one? Seal, Kiss from a Rose for Batman Forever. If this movie would have came out in like 1994 instead of 2004, we would have had like a Mark Anthony Training Day montage song. I'm depressed that did not happen now. That would have been amazing.
LL got a song in Deep Blue Sea, and that was like 2001 or something.
Yeah. They don't do that shit no more. That's like...
There's a reason.
Because it's awesome.
No. It's awful.
I guess Linkin Park and Transformers. The first Transformers film had that Linkin Park song with it. Or
something of the day.
What I've done.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Because that was really cool.
Yeah, but was that made for the movie?
That was made for the movie.
It was?
That was on the soundtrack. They made that for the film.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was really cool. This movie needs a fucking song to go with it now.
No. And then, so that was kind of throwing me off about the dad. The mom, Radha Mitchell, what was going on with her accent? Babble. But then she just talked normal like this.
She's supposed to be from... She's from the States. Did they say where?
I don't think so.
Was she trying to do like Boston accent or something?
It pissed me off. I'm like, you're kind of killing the scene right now. What are you doing? I don't know. That's just nitpicky stuff. But I was wondering if you picked up on it, if she said she was from somewhere.
Yeah. Just from the States, I think, is all that I remember them saying.
Huh. It bothered me.
Yeah. I read an interesting article the other day that was about how actors don't necessarily have to do accents unless they're really super good at it. Like, like Hugh Jackman can slip in and out of different accents and you can't tell. That basically the article was like, unless you're Hugh Jackman or someone who's so convincing at it that you don't know you're doing an accent, you probably shouldn't do one in a film.
Yeah.
For that reason, because you can tell.
There's a couple videos on YouTube. There's this accent vocal coach.
Yeah.
And he just watches clips and breaks down stuff. And that's a pretty good watch. You should look it up.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up.
But he breaks down like Forrest Whitaker in that big Oscar movie that he did.
Last King of Scotland.
Yeah. And he like crushed the accent, I guess. Will Smith is Muhammad Ali, imitating his voice, flawless. And then he just pointed out stuff like Keanu Reeves and Bram Stoker's Dracula. He's like, who the fuck let this happen? That's good stuff. I like that.
That was kind of off-putting performance.
Yes.
Whoever thought Keanu could do that.
Keanu is John Wick. He's not English.
God bless Keanu Reeves.
I love Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, but you have
in The Matrix and in John Wick.
And in John Wick and in Bill and Ted.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a new film coming out though, called like Destination Wedding or something. It's kind of a chick flick rom-com thing.
Yeah.
Him and I can't remember her name right now, but yeah, they're like on each side of the family. They're single. They have to end up going to this destination wedding. They seat them at the table because they're kind of the loners of their family, different respective families, and then they end up hanging out and stuff, and I assume they fall in love, and see, I'm into that stupid shit. I'm going to go see it. But fucking Keanu Reeves doing a rom-com. I'm going to go see it. Flip-flop fell off.
I always thought it would be really fun to, like, what if you did a movie like that, and then what if you baited the audience and switched, and, like, halfway through...
He just starts shooting everybody.
Like, fucking, like, terrorists come into the wedding, and he has to, like, John Wick the shit for the last 45 minutes of it? How great of a film would that be?
It's actually John Wick 3.
Yeah, it's a secret John Wick prequel or some shit.
I have a bunch of quotes that I wrote down.
Okay.
A lot of quotes. There's a lot of shit in this film that... It reminded me of Soldier. I know you probably haven't watched that one. Kurt Russell. I think we talked about it.
I haven't seen Soldier. I should, because I'm a Kurt Russell fan.
Yeah. There's a line in there.
Maybe we'll watch it and do that.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
There's a line in there. All the bad guys are coming, and she asks Kurt, the main lady, I can't remember her name, what are you going to do? And he just goes, I'm going to kill them all. I'm like, that's just so cool.
That's
and then Denzel saying, I'm going to kill him. Anyone involved, anyone who profited, anybody who opens their eyes at me. I'm like, yeah, kill those motherfuckers. And then kind of alluding to like their past and stuff when Christopher Walken and Denzel are talking. Denzel says, you think God will forgive us for what we've done? And Christopher Walken just flat out says no.
Yeah.
Which is that character development and everything. It just, what's the catch when Mark Anthony's asking him about why he's so cheap? I drink.
And he's just like, wife.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I thought that was going to go a little more.
The alcohol?
Yeah. It's like they kind of set it up early in the film, and then they don't really go back
because of those 50 minutes. He becomes a better person spending time with Dakota Fanning.
Sure.
You need it.
Sure.
See, in the beginning, he's a stumbling alcoholic, and then...
But he wasn't really...
But he puts the bottle away, and he starts spending time with this cute little girl, teaching her how to swim fast. You're a prisoner on these blocks until that sound sets you free. Oh, God, I love the way he talks, too. He just says everything.
He's motivational.
Such authority and just... I can't say it. I don't know.
Yeah.
When he drops her off the first day and he has to sign her in, and he's talking to the nun, and
that's a good scene.
Yeah, she's saying like, I don't think your position, your job should exist.
I wish your job didn't have to exist.
Right, and he says, me too. And she starts quoting this Bible verse, and then he finishes it. And then she kind of looks at him for a minute, and they say something, he goes, I'm the sheep that got lost. And just stuff like that. I wrote it down. Like, everything that he says, it's just like, damn, that's deep, man. I don't know. It just, like we've been saying, this isn't just an action film. It is kind of...
It tries to
drama.
It tries to be more than just your standard fare.
And I really like it. But that's the thing, if it wasn't Denzel... I would kind of think it'd be stupid.
Oh, definitely.
Like, who else could you see?
He carries... That's why I wrote down it was important for me to write down that I can watch him be entertaining in anything. He can make anything work.
Being a swim coach.
Because the beginning of that film, without his ability to elevate, scenes and dialogue and make shit work, I don't think it does. I don't think the beginning of this movie works without Denzel Washington. I don't know... Imagine if it was Mark Wahlberg. I like Mark. I like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
not in this role.
Yeah, but like you'd shut this off.
Yeah.
30, 40 minutes into it, you fucking wouldn't buy that.
What about Neeson?
Liam Neeson? Maybe. Yeah. I like him a lot as an actor. I think Liam could pull it off.
I can't think off the top of my head. Who else would be Creasy if not for Denzel?
I don't know. Liam Neeson's good.
Neeson. Who else do I like?
Because a lot of the people that we talk about all the time, like Stallone,
right?
Like you couldn't pull this off in a Stallone film, or Frank Grillo. I love Frank Grillo. I could not probably watch an hour of Frank Grillo trying to do dramatic work. Okay, I don't know. I've never seen him.
What about Bruce Willis?
Bruce Willis?
If he turned on that switch.
But see, I don't know if this is the role for Bruce. I don't know if like a Bruce Willis could. It really takes a high caliber. Actor like Denzel.
Like I'm not thinking about the end with the action stuff. I'm just thinking about the alcoholic who meets this little girl. And did you get kind of a Leon the Professional?
Yeah, a little bit.
Right?
A little bit.
I love that. It's hard to describe that dynamic between a man and a girl. Because, joking or you say something weird, you take something out of context.
Yeah.
A man and a little girl, people freak out. But it's just that dynamic of Leon the Professional. This is just melts your fucking heart. I'm going to still think about that throughout the episode because I want to think of somebody else.
Sam Jackson. I'm kidding. That was a joke. I was not serious.
You know what this is? It's a motherfucking bomb in your motherfucking ass. God, that sounds awful.
That scene would work with Sam Jackson. Just that scene would be amazing.
I wrote down. Okay, so yeah, it was the 50-minute mark is the kidnapping.
Okay.
An hour and 16 minutes. I wrote down. Most movies are coming to an end. Maybe 20 minutes left. Denzel is buying guns.
Yeah, this one is just like gearing up for its second act.
Right.
Yeah.
And then,
you know how a lot of films are like, people talk about, beginning, middle, end, first act, second act, third act. This movie legitimately has a first act, a second act, and then I guess the third act would be when they do the switch off. When he's shot in the car.
Oh, yeah.
And they're doing the switch off is really the final act of the film. It really is broke down that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's kind of drawn out and longer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fitting a lot of stuff in.
Yep.
So let's get into some of the torturing shit. Let's get into, he's
Finger
geared up.
scene.
Denzel, or Dakota. Dakota's kidnapped. Believed to be dead, which I forgot about that. I thought she was dead. I was pissed. Denzel's going to go start with the finger cutting scene.
It's a good scene. It reminded me of something out of Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Even though I know that this came before Breaking Bad, but I'm wondering, is there any inspiration for that? Because they're in Mexico and...
What about Walt?
Yeah.
What about the fuck's his name?
I don't know where you're going.
Walter White. What's his name?
Heisenberg?
What's
Bryan Cranston?
Bryan Cranston.
Oh, actors who could...
Right.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston. I could watch Bryan Cranston read a newspaper and take a shit, and it would be entertaining. Seriously.
He could... What do you think of him as Creasy?
Yes.
Yeah?
Because Bryan Cranston.
Because.
Yes. Remember that terrible Godzilla film that he was in? That was only good until they killed off Bryan Cranston, and it was just terrible.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
I like Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I was not a fan.
He's my Nightwing guy. I wish he's a Nightwing.
He was fine, but the movie wanted to pan away every time Godzilla was on screen.
Yeah,
Fuck that shit.
That's
that's here nor there.
Yeah, they don't have that in Mexico City.
Yeah, maybe. Kaiju in Mexico.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Man on Fire 2. Giant kaiju. I don't know.
Finger guy, though.
Yeah, back to the finger scene. That was really brutal.
I
thought. He shoots the dude point blank at the end of it, too.
Which I thought was nice of him.
Yeah.
It's a quick ending to your pain. He gave him a cigarette.
Yeah.
So
compared to falling
he's a nice guy.
in the car.
Yeah, he should have just let him go, like Crow style.
Yeah,
when he duct tapes him to the car with the phosphorus thing. And
yeah,
fucking let him fall and blow up.
No shit. He deserved it.
No
He's
shit.
He's a professional.
Oh god. I like the guitar chords during the torture scenes. I don't know what the fuck I wrote down. I wrote bow bow. Oh, okay. Where it goes bow bow. Bow, bow. I literally wrote down bow bow bow.
I see that. That's pretty badass.
But yeah, I like those guitar chords as it was the sound. Thought that was great. Before he cuts off any fingers, the sunglasses guy, which I can't believe those sunglasses didn't fall off in the course of all of that. Do you know who I am? And he goes, I'm a member of La Hermandad, right? Or correct? He goes, correct. And then without saying a word, he just leans over and cuts off a finger just for being a member. Just for existing. I just love the no bullshit, just go straight for it.
Yeah.
And he's cutting off fingers, and he asks him a question, where can I find the voice? And he just slams his head on the horn.
Yep.
And he's just like, fuck. He's like, what, you don't know? And he's just like, no.
Well,
I don't know. Yeah. Okay, thanks for all the information. See ya. So after the fingers, then we go to the nightclub, right? Because he tells them about the butcher.
Yes.
The fucked up face guy.
Yep. That was the guy that had like the bald spot.
Oh,
on his head.
The guy from Jersey.
Yeah.
Jersey? You're from Jersey? I'm from Jersey. And he just sugars him up, gets all the information he wants. which you almost felt kind of bad for that guy.
A little bit.
But I'm like, wait a minute. No, fuck you. You're an asshole.
I get like $200 for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just seemed like a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And for a moment, I was like, oh, I feel kind of bad for that guy.
Yeah.
But then I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So then we're in the nightclub. We kill that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Kill the butcher. Oh, which he doesn't get anything out of him.
No.
He's asking questions, nobody answers, and he just shoots him.
Mm-hmm.
Gets some stuff out of Jersey guy. He lets the woman live.
Yep.
For telling her some info. He saves a little girl, Camille.
Mm-hmm. Which I thought was cool.
Which I thought was awesome.
Some kind of weird sex trafficking shit that was implied.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Very Liam Neeson taken.
Yeah.
In that moment. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh god, it just creeps me out.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the lady, what's the information that he gets
from the chick?
He gets he gets he gets the debit card from the guy.
Yeah.
And the PIN number, and then he gives that to the journalist. Which nitpicking, but she's a journalist. They keep calling her Lois Lane.
Yeah.
How the fuck is she getting all this information for him? She's like Kevin Smith in Die Hard.
Yeah.
Just fat guy sitting at the computer.
It's a good
She's
pull.
just a
It's a good reference. I like that. Yeah. Best part of that Die Hard film. Especially knowing how much they hate one another now.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
But she is just a journalist, and she gets 10 drivers, or yeah, doesn't she get the license numbers? 10.
Yeah, she gets a bunch of shit.
The addresses, all that stuff. She gets the name of the. Well, I guess though she's probably getting the information from that detective for a blowjob and pack of cigarettes.
It is Mexico,
which is weird. Well, they show them like after a night.
Yeah.
Which there's some weird shit going on between her and him too.
Yeah.
But in the end, that guy was a good guy, doing what he was supposed to do, finding corrupt cops, and that's the thing that kind of threw me for a loop when I was younger. Was I didn't understand who the good guys were and who the bad guys were.
Sure, I could see that.
Because there's a lot of cops that were corrupt. There was a lot of just general
terrible people in general.
Jordan Kalfis, whatever. So he gets the account number, and then that leads them to the Voice's apartment, to his wife.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, oh no. Then he goes to Butt Bomb.
Okay.
Butt Bomb guy.
Yes.
Yeah, he takes him to the scene of the drop. And asks him what went wrong and all this other stuff, and it talks about the thing that's up his ass right now. And by the way, at the end of this, I've got a little tidbit about the butt bomb.
Ooh.
So there's something about that.
Yeah, I can't wait for the trivia now.
I really liked that scene though, the 5 minutes and how it was in real time.
I thought that was cool. Very
was really
24 awesome. With the clock that ticked up at the bottom, and I thought that was interesting. I like stupid shit like that too, because I'm always off put. Or when movies are like,
we have to be to Egypt in 4 hours. How the fuck did you?
Or it's the end of the film and they're like, the bomb is gonna blow in 90 seconds, and the scene lasts for 15 minutes.
Right. I don't like that either.
I don't like that either. That takes me out of the film. So I thought that was really cool that they were like 5 minutes, and it was actually, and I mean, not that I timed it, but it didn't look like.
Right. And there's a lot of cuts and stuff throughout, so I get how they did it. But at the same time, it's like, that would be kind of frustrating, making sure that everything lined up. When he said it, that said it, and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just simple editing, I know, but it's just like...
But that was really cool, though.
Yeah, I really liked it. It just added to that scene, made it more intense, kind of felt what that fat fucker was going through. Him just checking his watch every few minutes. All right, you got 4 minutes, 20 seconds. Better quit.
Because he was, like, casually dressing. Like, the whole time. Like, you take the gloves off and throw them in the car. And setting the watch, and he's putting the coat on by the end of the scene. Right. He's just playing it, like, super cool, like only Denzel Washington can.
Right. Yeah, The kidnapping scene is still probably my favorite, but that was a close second.
Yeah.
Because just how cool and collect he is. He's telling him about the fucking bomb in his ass.
It don't matter, man.
He literally explains everything. This is a transmitter, receiver, send a
C4, yeah, all that shit. It's pretty
just
cool.
Very, very casual. And then we end up at the Voices apartment with his wife and his brother. And his brother gets fucked up. His brother loses all his fingers.
Shotgun, sawed-off shotgun right to the hand. Boom.
Yeah, see that?
I thought that was cool, this badass where he's like, I got your brother right here, you want to talk to him? He hands him the phone as he shoots his hand off, so he's just screaming into the receiver.
That's when he asks, how much money do you want? All right, how much do you want? And he just pissed, and he goes over and he just, I don't want your fucking money. I want you. I'm like, yeah. It reminded me of stupid movies. Payback with Mel Gibson. Everyone keeps saying, just give him his $100,000. He's like, it's 70. 70, you people aren't listening. Who the hell would do this for 70 grand? It's about the principle. Yeah, I think that's great. And that takes us to the bridge scene, which is the end.
The ending, the end climax of the film.
What did you think about the ending?
I like the way that one was shot. Because it was a very wide,
that was a very pretty
wide angle, very nice spot with like the rolling hill and the bridge, and I like the way they did a lot of like scenes where you trade, people or money or whatever between the good guys and the bad guys. Their cars are like nose to nose, and they're right next to one another, and I've never done that, but I would imagine you would be further apart than that in real life. I like the way that there was like a distance that he had to walk and go between.
Really added to the intensity of it.
And you knew, because he's already hunched over in the car, and you can see the blood, and he's fucked up, and you're like, that this is his last trip, his last journey that he's gonna make, and
he knows it too, but he's just proud to do it. He feels that redemption. He feels like he's done something right with his life, that he's paid some dues. And it's like that scene from Sin City. It's like that scene from Sin City. Bruce Willis. The old man dies. Little girl lives. Fair trade. That was a year later.
God, it was a year later, wasn't it? Yeah.
Mickey Rourke was in both of them. Boom.
Funny how that works out. Connected universe.
Jordan Kalfas comes back to life as Marv.
Yep, in the Michael Bay prequel to Man on Fire.
So that's exactly... then I thought of Sin City. Old man dies, little girl lives, fair trade. The only thing that I didn't like, he had his kid, Denzel, had the voices brother, wife, kids, and unborn child. He had all of that playing to his leverage. And he gives him 2 lives for the price of 1.
Yeah.
Dude, you have so many resources. As horrible as it would be, get that girl back, threaten that unborn child.
Yeah.
Like, do it. It's not a fair trade at all. I forget where this was, but this is another quote that I wrote down. I'll snatch the life right out of you. Denzel says it too.
I guess I don't remember that line.
Oh, I think it was maybe saying it to his wife or his brother or something. Sit down and shut up. If you move, I'll snatch the life right out of you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, damn. That's just another one.
That's cool. That's
just cool. I wrote down a shitload of quotes just because they sounded cool.
Yeah.
Snatch the life right out of you. I might put that in my movie.
Do it.
Snatch the life right out of you. Yeah. Yeah, the ending, I don't like. You assume that he dies in the car on the way to wherever they're going, which I was hoping it would happen because it's more peaceful. He dies on his own accord. Little girl's safe. That's the end. Part of me wanted him to make it to the end, go into wherever they were taking him,
and take them all out,
or
or
just
he had
that
like a
face to face with the voice. Or something.
He had like a bomb on him or something. I don't know. That was kind of what I was thinking.
Okay.
Is he going to be like...
Okay. Well, we got to talk about something.
What?
So there was an alternate ending shot.
Yeah?
he gets in the car, goes to, it's an apartment, talks to the voice. They have a conversation, like a full-fledged 5-10 minute conversation about life, death, what happens, what they've done, all this other stuff. And then he keeps checking his watch. And then it blows up. And you're supposed to imply that he had a bomb up his ass.
His own ass bomb.
Yeah, which I'm glad it's awesome, but at the same time, it's a little less dignified than dying in the car.
Yeah,
so I'm glad
I kind of get why they went.
I'm glad
with the car
they went
thing.
the other route.
I was not thinking ass bomb. I was thinking more along the lines of maybe he would have had something like a traditional bomb or whatever.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they probably made the correct decision now that we say it out loud.
A lot more dignified. A lot more, a lot better.
Denzel dies with his dignity intact.
Yes,
instead
exactly.
Of with a thing up his ass like Richard Gere.
It's just a rumor. Yeah, so...
All I keep thinking now is that would be an awesome Deadpool scene. With the ass bomb. I mean, come on.
I saw it in a Denzel movie.
That's a good line, too.
Or he just comes out and Deadpool's on fire.
Yeah.
Remember that movie with Denzel? That's stupid. I wish I could cut that out.
There's no editing.
No, never. It'll look funny. Before we get into trivia, I want to discuss the Scott Glenn version of this film and the novel.
What the fuck is that?
Okay.
What are you? I don't know what you're talking about right now. I'm in uncharted territory.
This was originally a book.
Okay.
It's a fiction. Okay.
Was it based?
I want to clear this up.
Because the ending made it look like it was based on a true story, and I know it's not. Why did they do that?
I want to clear this up. Okay, so the ending, it does say Creasy, blah blah blah, till 2004, and then on this date, so and so was arrested and killed. It is a fictional character. He was not a real person. There are characters in the film that are based on real people. The detective that is sleeping with the journalist, he's based on a real person, a real guy in Mexico that works with kidnapping cases.
Okay.
The brothers are based on an actual brother group that kidnapped kids. So there's some realism there, but it is not actually a true story. It started out as a novel. I think there's 4 or 5 of them now. And he was working on the 5th or 6th. Right after this, he died in like 2005, the writer of the books. So he never got to finish that one. But there's like a whole line, like Jack Ryan or stuff like that. There's a whole series of John Creasy books.
I didn't know that.
Which makes me very interested. I guess the books are even more graphic and stuff.
Sure.
And I guess Denzel like crushed it, which obviously, but from what I read about the readers of the book, it's it's very close.
Yeah.
So that makes me really interested. I want to look into that.
That's cool. I'd read that book.
Yeah, there's a couple of them, I guess, and so I definitely want to read in that. And then I want to say it was in the 80s. There was a Man on Fire film with Scott Glenn.
Really?
Where he was Creasy, and so I'm gonna watch that now.
Anyone else in it?
Not that I could recall.
No one that you would recognize.
Not off the top of my head, I don't think. And the novel, as well as that, the Scott Glenn film actually takes place in Italy, I want to say.
Weird.
The settings in Italy.
That's
because
weird.
In the time that it was written, is the kidnappings and stuff. It was a huge problem in Italy then.
Sure.
And then by the time that this film came out, 2004, not a lot going on in Italy. And Mexico is like the kidnapping.
Drug trades and all that kind of stuff that goes on.
Huge.
Yeah.
So they set it there. And all the characters remain the same. They just switch their names, stuff like that.
Sure.
And so, yeah.
That's kind of a cool piece of trivia.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Makes me really, that's, I was saying earlier, I want to get I've always listened to audiobooks and stuff on my phone, but I want to get like a Kindle or something so I can do the ebooks and stuff like that as opposed to draining my phone battery. So that was like, I wanted to go get one yesterday so I could start reading those books. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. I want to make that perfectly clear. It's not a real person. It's fiction with basis of real life in it.
I thought that was a little weird because it didn't. That was another thing that I didn't really like about the movie. At no point before like that little bit at the end did I think that this was any kind of a true story.
Right.
And then right at the end, it like tried to do that shit where I'm like, I don't understand that decision.
Yeah, I remember when it came out too. My dad did a whole bunch of Googling back in the day to try to figure stuff out, and nothing. So
interesting.
I mean, they do the same kind of subtitling and text location stuff throughout the film.
A lot of movies do that,
right?
Because that's cool.
Yeah, but it just didn't fit.
It had some unnecessary subtitling. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Periodically, like it would subtitle Denzel Washington talking in English.
Really?
And yeah, there was like one point in the film where he says something and it like pops up below him and shit. Yeah.
Huh. No, I didn't pick that up.
I couldn't quite figure out why it did that. Just some kind of stylistic choice.
I did like when the fat asshole that gets the bomb up his butt, when we first meet him, he says his English isn't very good, and he starts speaking English, and then some words he says in Spanish, and they're subtitled.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like English, subtitle, English.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. Yeah. That was kind of a cool style. Yeah. Do some trivia real quick.
Okay.
I got it right here.
Awesome.
Got it open. I meant to write it down. Writer. Oh, here we go. 1987. Writer Brian Hegland first saw the original Man on Fire in 1987 when he was renting videos in the late 80s. He walked in the video store where Quentin Tarantino was working and asked what was good. Tarantino recommended Man on Fire.
Now I have to see the original.
Scott Glenn.
Yeah.
The kitchen scene between wow, I can't speak, between Creasy and Peta, where she asked him about concubines, was mostly ad-libbed. It started when they accused each other of smiling.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where you can just see Denzel and Dakota just acting with each other, which is really good. There's just that really good bonding, really good relationship building.
Yeah.
I thought that was really well done. Denzel Washington was so impressed with Dakota's acting that he'd watch her and forget that he was in the scene.
I can see that.
I would, if I was Dakota, I'd tell everybody that.
Yeah.
Like now, when she's 24, I'd still be going, yeah, I acted in a movie with Denzel, and he was really impressed with me.
Yeah.
Like, I would just rub that in everybody's face. A lot of the people in the film, when they were in Mexico, actually had bodyguards and everything around because where they were filming, they were in Mexico City, they were in all these, there's a lot of crime, and a lot of the crew members actually got, like, robbed at gunpoint, pickpocketed, stuff like that. And so, but Denzel, Radha Mitchell, a lot of the bigger names had full-time bodyguards all the time. The kidnappers' first names in the movie, Daniel and his brother Aurelio, are the first names of real-life Mexico City kidnappers in the late 90s. Daniel and Aurelio Arizmendi Lopez, the infamous ear loppers.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's weird because it is fictional, but there's a lot of...
There's some truth.
Real life time.
Seems like it.
Dakota Fanning took piano, swimming, and Spanish lessons for her role. She's 12 years old when she did it, which is nuts. I
thought she spoke Spanish very well.
Yeah, I thought she did really
good. It was believable in the scene that she had to.
Denzel had to take lessons too, but his was very much with a heavy American accent and stuff, and
yeah,
he's still very good. There's just a lot of stuff. Denzel and Dakota bonded on set by playing ping pong. Something. Here you go. Tom Cruise, Robert De Niro.
Ooh.
Will Smith and Bruce Willis were offered the role of Creasy. They had all previously worked with Tony Scott.
Who did you say? Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Will Smith. Will Smith. Yeah, I would watch this movie with Will Smith in the lead role.
Yeah, he was a little bit younger then, though. I think, like now would be perfect.
Yeah.
I think he might have been a little bit too young for the role then, because this was a couple years. I guess 4 or 5 years after Bad Boys.
It was 2004. So yeah.
He just did. He was doing iRobot.
Sure.
I think he was still kind of young, but De Niro.
De Niro would have.
I think he would have fucking killed it.
Mm-hmm.
I love De Niro. Discuss the book I want to talk about. We talked about the Scott Glenn film.
I really want to see the Scott Glenn film. We're gonna track that down. And watch that.
That'd be awesome to watch. I love Scott Glenn. I love that he was on Daredevil.
Yeah.
As Stick. I love Scott Glenn.
I mean, if Quentin Tarantino thinks it's a cool film,
right? Yeah. There you go.
That's my seal of approval.
And then, if you don't know, Tony Scott is Ridley Scott's brother.
Yeah.
Which is cool. You had a little bit of something you found out before we started.
You want to bring that up?
Yeah, I think we should mention it.
So we always do research on directors and like to dive deep and stuff. I guess he died back in 2012, which I did not know.
I had no idea.
It's sad.
I think
kind of sad circumstances surrounding it as well, too.
Yeah.
You guys can read into that if you want to look him up. A really big list of directing credits.
Yeah,
that he's got underneath him.
I started looking through it, and I like all of it.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of heavy hitting films. Well, you heard me
read The State, Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He does a Bruce Willis film that I really like with Damon Wayans. Last Boy Scout.
Okay.
Great. I love that film. That's a really good one. Halle Berry is murdered, and Damon Wayans and
29 films he directed. That was the number I was looking for. So yeah, his last one was Unstoppable. That was the one with
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine, the train film.
And Denzel.
Yeah. Yep.
Huh.
Taking of Pelham 123.
Denzel and John Travolta.
John Travolta. Deja Vu with Denzel Washington. He was a big Denzel Washington fan. Man on Fire with Denzel.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Enemy of the State. That one had Will Smith in it. That was 98.
Yeah.
I don't know. About 2004, if Will Smith was doing Enemy of the State in 98.
I still think he was too young.
I don't know. I think he could have pulled it off. I would have liked to have seen him.
I think
he's got some acting chops on him, Jeff.
Yeah,
I think you give him
the role is for an older. Yeah, guy who's been in the military, a guy who's been around the world killing people.
Sure.
Who's now heavy drunk because of all the death that's been around him, broken.
You know, I'm thinking about it. It would have had weird vibes if it would have been someone like Bruce Willis.
What do you mean?
I don't know if it would have been. It wouldn't have been the same kind of film because I don't think that Bruce would have played it as grounded and as serious as what Denzel Washington did. Like, I feel like if Bruce Willis or someone like that would have played it, it would have been more over the top with, you know, being an alcoholic. And it would have been more over the top with some of the action stuff. And I don't know if the film would have... It would have been a different movie. You know, you know what I'm getting at?
I did like the alcoholic Denzel when he's flipping the bullet out of his gun, trying to catch it, is so slow and
it's very subtle.
He tries to kill himself, and the primer doesn't go.
Yeah.
And I think he pulled it off very well.
Yeah.
But now that we saw De Niro's name, I don't know.
Well,
I think fucking Taxi Driver.
That's one of those what if kind of.
Yeah. No, I love Denzel though. I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
What is the number one thing you think the film got right? What is the one tidbit you would pick out?
God, I want to say the casting of Denzel Washington is really what makes the movie work. Like we said earlier, I don't know without him if the movie is good. Does the movie work without him? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I would say that just his performance, what he brings to this film is really what makes it work, I think.
Yeah. Along the same lines, I was going to say the the dynamic between Dakota and Denzel. I think they really worked off of each other, and I really got and understood that bond, similar to Natalie Portman and
in The Professional.
John Reno.
Yeah.
Definitely just that dynamic. Again, out of context, guy, young girl.
Mm-hmm.
That it's done really, really well though. I really love it.
I think so.
Really love it. Got any final thoughts? Anything else you want to say? Anything coming up that you want to say you're doing?
I understand a little bit why some of the critics might not like the film. I think 39% is a really low rating for it. It's a slow burn, and I think that maybe that's what turns some people off. I don't know though. I don't know if that's it. I don't know why the critics would be so hard on it. Maybe because it is Denzel Washington, and maybe expectations are so high.
I think they were met though,
I don't know.
so does the audience with almost 90%.
90%, yeah. I really don't know why the critics are so tough.
I looked through some of them last night.
Yeah.
And a good portion of the ones at the top, one that sticks out to me was lots of violence, don't take your kids.
Well, it's an R-rated film.
That was one of the poor ratings.
I hate
that's
not a review. Like, look at the fucking, it's an R-rated film.
Yeah.
What do you want?
So that really grinded my gears.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Rotten Tomatoes, once again, real quick, the critic score is 39%, audience score 89%.
It's pretty big.
It's a hefty difference.
89%, if that was a critic score, I mean, that's like the little certified fresh logo that they put on movies.
And this one, the popcorn just gets a little bit fuller.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Oh,
I think they got that backwards. I think the certified fresh should be for the audience scores for films.
I think
that's what I think.
Yeah, I love this movie a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was a little kid, and now the acting, the dynamic between them, the action, everything, it just flows. It's just so good. The ending is really good. Really sets me up. I want to read the books, watch that Scott Glenn version.
Sure.
And yeah, I love this movie. If it wasn't 2.5 hours long, I'd watch it more.
Runtime is a little much.
So I think that's it for Man on Fire. I kind of wish that we had talked more about his alcoholism a little bit more in the beginning. Just because I thought the way he played it was very well. Like we just mentioned, the bullet and everything.
Yeah.
Just kind of wish we would have dived into that. I don't know why we skipped it. But that is it for Man on Fire, unless you got anything else.
No, I think I'm good. Soundtrack, I was forgetting to mention that.
Okay.
It uses like 9 Inch Nails at one point.
Yeah.
It doesn't have much of one, but when it does, I thought it was pretty cool.
And I'm starting to lose my voice.
Yeah.
The guitar chords, I really liked.
Yeah.
It's almost like an old Western kind of deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. This is definitely one of my top Denzel movies. Shut Up, I Like This podcast, where we talk about how much we like movies and we don't shit on stuff. You can find us on pantheonnetwork.com. You can find all the audio, all the videos. You can find Comedy Bowl Podcast on there. We have merchandise, these fancy t-shirts. We have a couple different kinds of shirts. There's mugs, all that kind of stuff. Soon I want to get headbands.
It'd be cool. I wear a headband.
Just because I'm wear it, might as well brand that shit.
Yeah.
Check out Comedy Bowl Podcast. Watch us on YouTube. Listen to us. Real quick, we've been talking about the trivia show for a while. It's been tough getting people here. I've got 2 episodes. I think I'm just gonna put them out instead of waiting for all the episodes. Put them out, see what you guys think. If you guys like it, I'll use that as bait. Be like, see, everybody likes it. Come here, quit being a chicken. So I think I'm just gonna
It's
get
more
those
difficult
going.
than you'd think. For as much as we all have fucking social media,
It's hard.
As soon as you say the word camera, people freak out.
Or
it's like, dude,
just getting,
dude, we all have these.
just getting 3 or 4 people together
Yeah.
at once is like impossible. I don't know why it's so hard. But I think I'll just put out those for you guys to see. So look to those. They'll be on YouTube. If you like them, you know, let us know. Email us. Send us a message on Facebook, tweet us, or whatever. And then real quick, I sent it to you last night. Kevin Smith liked my tweet, so I just wanted to say that.
That's a good feeling. I've had that happen one time.
I'm sure he does it for everybody.
I think he does too, but it makes you feel grand.
Tom Savini liked my tweets a couple times. It just makes me feel cool.
Yeah. I had tweeted him I got a copy of Mallrats randomly at work on VHS.
Oh, really?
And so I stuck it on the counter and took a photo of it and was like, hey, at Kevin Smith, look what I found at work. It was only a quarter. And so he liked the tweet.
Yeah.
Like, that's really awesome. He's really super cool.
Yeah, I like him.
I'd hang out with Kevin Smith.
I just watched the Joe Rogan podcast he was on.
I still need to do that.
It's a good 3 hours.
I'm okay with that.
It took me a couple days to watch it, but
it's two of my favorite people.
Yes. So check that out if you guys like Kevin Smith. And then still working on movies almost written. You'll be in on that. And then I had something else. It's not movie related, but I'm launching my own magazine. I'm starting a Kickstarter. It'll be this week. You guys will be able to see the magazine's about independent games. Pretty much doing the same thing that I'm doing now. Just doing it for myself. Cool magazine. It'll be digital, and
I've seen a couple of
the
couple of the pages that he's got while working on some of the stories. Very professional. I like the layout. It looks really cool.
Thank you.
Like really cool. I like this idea a lot.
I'm really excited for it. I hope a lot of other people, because I know there's a niche out there.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. You got anything you want to plug in real quick?
I'm working on my photo website, where I do photography work on the side. And so if you want to go check out any of my work, you can buy prints, you can buy t-shirts and mugs and mouse pads and iPhone cases.
That's awesome.
They host all kinds of stuff, as well as, canvas prints, metal prints. I just sold a big, huge piece on a metal print.
Really?
You can buy with, without frames. There's all kinds of options. There's a barking dog if you're into things like barking dogs for free. Contact Jeff for that one. Phantasm Digital is the name of my website. So
Sweet.
Yeah, check that out and you can see all my work on there and maybe something you like.
Awesome.
Question mark?
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Again, sorry about last week with data corruption, stuff like that.
That sucks.
But
I hate when that happens. Did you lose the whole podcast?
Yeah. But you know what? We'll have bigger and better stuff coming. So thank you guys for listening, and have a nice day.